Hey, this is Russ. I'm back out on the bike. Here it is, February 28th. The last time I was on the bike was December 15th. So the current weather right now is 51 degrees. And I figured I've got to get out there. Yeah, it feels good to be back on the bike. It's been about, what, 2.5 months? Still sniffling. It's still kind of chilly, but I am all bundled up as best as I can. I have my black sweatshirt on. I have my black jacket on. I've got my safety vest on, my gloves. I have a very thin knit beanie cap underneath my new Burn helmet. Now I know I can't go too far because my batteries aren't fully charged up. I've had these batteries sitting at around 75%, and I'm just looking at the power level, and I noticed that as I throttle, this thing is dropping. So I don't think we can go too far, but I figure I'd take it out on some general areas we've gone in the past, just to be able to say we went out there. And I don't want to go too far, like I said, because if the batteries totally die and I have to push this bike back, I don't want to be pushing it miles and miles away. So our mileage is at 2,614. That's where we left it at the end of last year. Now I'm going to leave my pedal assist at about level 2 just to save a little bit of battery power. I'm not going too fast here because of it. If I throttled, let me throttle a little bit here. If I throttled, that's going to give me more power, obviously. You can see based on that thing, it says my speed is 12 or 13 miles or so. Something like that. But according to my bike, it's doing about 15. So I don't know who's right. I tend to trust my bike more than I trust that other thing, which is kind of a pity if you think about it. Yeah, so I thought I would be going out at the end of this week, because Monday's video, I mentioned maybe by Friday I could get out there. Well, here it is, Monday. I made that video on Friday. You guys got to see it on Monday, which was yesterday. But I'm back out already. Now, according to the weather reports, we should be getting decent weather. decent meaning like 50 or 51 degrees today and also on Wednesday. So I don't know if I'll be heading out again on Wednesday or not, but maybe. I will say this, you know, I mentioned that I was going to try to, now let's go to pedal assist level 3. I feel like I'm going too slow here. That I was going to go on the recumbent bike, exercise bike, but I didn't do that. I always say I'm going to do it and I never do it. It's just plain laziness, I guess. So how's my knee doing? Well, I can feel it, that's for sure. I can feel it as I'm riding, but I'm doing the best I can. I think my knee is still having decent flexion. I still haven't measured it, but I left it at 120 degrees, and I'm pretty sure I'm still at 120 degrees of flexion. My extension is still at 0. I'm pretty positive of that one. So I made some changes to the bike since the winter. You notice right here, I've got my new light on there. I don't know if you can see that blinking there. And it's sitting in a position that used to be inhabited by a bottle holder thing, which I couldn't get off. But I finally was able to get rid of that by doing this. I replaced the entire extension tube here, the handlebar tube. Yeah, I put a new one on there. That's the only way to do it. I couldn't get the other thing off. It was stripped. And so I says, I need that space. All right, so we're gonna go up over here. You guys have seen this before. See how this thing is. Obviously it's got water on it because the snow is still melting. It shouldn't be too bad though. We've ridden in worse. It's kind of washing off the tires, splashing up on the fenders, of course. Yeah, I figured I'd do this because this was the safest thing to do. I knew that I would not be on the streets, and we're not going to be doing the 3-mile circular path. So yeah, this was the easiest thing to do. So yeah, so all right, so we changed out the handlebar extender tube, put a new one on there, was able to put my new light on there. I also changed out the rear rack. I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. You know, when I first originally got the rear rack for the RadRover, they didn't have one in black, and I needed to get a pannier so I could carry all my stuff as I was riding. So I says, well, I'm not gonna wait forever, so I ordered it in purple. I'm thinking purple. I ordered it in orange, which is the other rad color. And then I spray painted it. And as you know, that the spray paint didn't really match 100% the black that's on the bike. It's kind of like almost like a black slash dark green. So I never really liked it, but besides that, whoa, that was pretty deep. Splashed me up pretty good. The panniers was rubbing up against the rack, causing it to rub off all the black paint underneath. Now, so for the last season, you couldn't really see it too much because it's kind of underneath it, but sometimes the pannier would shift a little bit and you'd see the orange. So I never really liked that. So I decided, well, you kind folks were able to get me a little bit of money by buying your bikes using my discount code for Rad Power Bikes, and so I used part of that money to replace that rear rack with an actual black one. The same rack, but now at least it won't be rubbing off. So that's new. The EBike bike lock, we mentioned before the end of the season that I got that also because of monies that were given to me from you guys. And what else did I get? Oh, and I got the burn helmet. So that's new as well. And really, it's not the 50 something degrees, the 51 degrees that's getting you. It's the wind that's getting to you. That's what you feel. So I've been getting a lot of comments from the video I posted on Monday, which I appreciate. I really do like reading your comments. And since we're still relatively small of a channel, I can answer pretty much most of them, if not all of them. So I'm kind of picking and choosing which part of the path has the least amount of water. Not this one. That one has a lot. Yeah, I know we're not doing a whole lot, but this is better than nothing. That's how I kind of see it. I will say 2.5 months, I still feel pretty comfortable on the bike. think what I'll have to do when I get back home, I'm going to charge up both batteries. I have both batteries mounted on my bike. I was only going to take the one that I usually put on the rear rack and keep the one that's in the triangle of the bike, keep that off, because I stored a bike in the garage and I didn't want to get in all cold and all, but weather seems like it won't be too bad. I think outdoor weathers have dropped down to maybe 35 degrees, maybe 20 degrees, but inside the garage it's usually a little bit warmer. So I think I'm just going to leave it because it's strapped up on there. Alright, how are we going to navigate this one? Because this is what splashed me last time, so we got to go slow here. I think they do actually, yeah, we'll go back around one more time. I think they do actually snowplow this thing. Because you see that right here, there's these little stakes that they put up. I think that's just to let the snowplow know where the edge of the, right here again, where the edge of the path is. Because I know people walk this, and they walk their dogs around here too. So they must plow this. I really wonder if they plow the other bike paths. I don't think they would do Bussy Woods. That's 11 miles around. I don't think they do that. The 3-mile path, they might do that. Oh, and also right here, the thumb throttle. You know, I broke that when I changed the tire. I have a brand new rear tire, as you know, on here. And when I flipped over the bike, I think I must have knocked into it. I cracked it. So I contacted Kevin Fitzpatrick on the Rad Power Bikes owners group on Facebook. He's the guy that makes these. He sells them for like $5, including shipping. You really can't beat it. So I asked him to send me 2 more. So I keep one as a backup in case I break another one. These are relatively cheap. So I figure for $5 each, I can afford to get 2. Wow, the wind is really pushing me. I can really feel the push. You know, when it's pushing you sideways, that's when you start worrying a little bit. And that's what it's doing. You know, the first time back out after 2.5 months, you do want to take it easy. You don't want to like go crazy on this thing. So I'm going at a relatively slow pace considering how fast I usually go. But it's a good warm-up. You know, I've been telling people on the comments, especially if you get a brand new bike, is to get used to the bike before you start going crazy and doing things on it. Because it does take a little while to get used to it. Now the one thing that's nice, although a lot of people don't think it's nice, is Rad Power Bikes, when you hit this throttle over here, it doesn't take off right away. It kind of has a slow rise to get up to speed. To me, that's a safety. To others, it's a sluggish bike. It depends on how you look at it. You know. Oh, my friend Stacy is calling me. Yeah, I told you he always calls me. Nah, I'm gonna let him go. I've told him before that if I don't answer his call, it's probably because I'm either riding my bike or I'm doing something I can't answer his call. Okay, we gotta go slow here. Hold on. So what was I talking about? Lose my train of thought here. Yeah, you gotta be careful. First time you're out on these bikes, especially now with the wind blowing me, I could literally feel it pushing me from the sides, which of course makes steering a little bit tough. So it takes a while. Yeah. So the Rad tends to have a slow ramp up. I mean, I could push this all the way down, and it's not kicking in real quick yet. It takes a while to get there, okay? But people will change out their controllers and motors and everything like that, try to modify this thing, make it go a little faster and stuff. You know, it makes you wonder if it's worth doing that or not, or just get rid of the bike and get another bike that has the ability to do all that without the modifications, right? But you know, if you invested the money on your bike and you know you don't want to take a major loss on it, you might not do that. You want to modify what you have. And so my modifications really is not or has not been modifications to the motor system or the controller, and I doubt I will do that, because although the controller modification that you get from Bolton e-bikes, which is now called Area 13, it's a popular upgrade, but there are some issues you have to be aware of. People have said that, you know, they're a little afraid that it could overheat the motor and stuff if you really push it, and I don't want to go through all that. I think that would be more of a headache. So yeah, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna stay with what I have, and if it's not the fastest bike, oh well. I'm okay with that. My whole thing with the bike is it gets me out. I get to go places. It takes me a little bit longer. It takes me a little longer. I'm not that interested in going for the fastest speed. Now, the only thing that I think it would be worthwhile, I mentioned before, is, you know, the better controller would allow me to get up the hills better, and for that it would be worth doing, because that's not a long-term thing. You know, you might go up a hill, it might take you, I don't know, let's say 10-15 seconds to get up that hill, let's say. That's not going to overheat that battery or overheat the motor for that short of a time, and then you go back to your regular riding. So in that sense, that would be worth it. But man, you know, it's another $200 or so. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that risk. And for those who've asked me about my brakes, why I went with just the hydraulic calipers instead of doing the whole thing. Well, it was easier. It was easier to do that than it was to do the whole thing. This thing is right there we go. Although now, Bolton e-bikes, which is now called Area 13, I always mention that so that you know, they have a full hydraulic brake system for about $225, I believe, and I think he has it on pre-order for $200. Something like that. So you could get a full system if you wanted. It's not branded, so who knows where he's getting these from and how good they are, but he claims they're okay. But no, I'm not going to do that. You do have to bleed that system when you install it, by the way. That means, you know, redoing the oil going through the line. And that's kind of a hassle. Now, I guess if you're used to it, no big deal, but I've never done it before. I don't want to deal with it. So my system has the standard brake cables on there. It's just simpler, not as powerful, obviously. You'd have a lot more power with the hydraulic brake system. But remember, my bike doesn't go that fast. Okay, it does. I think I can typically do about 25 miles an hour on this. Legally 20 miles an hour. You modify your bike a little bit. There's some internal things that you can do to get it to do 25. I might just set for the 25. I only go faster when I'm on the streets, if I have to compete with the cars and everything. So all right, let's head back. I don't know if I should try another area or not. Let me see. Where could we go? Well, I think if we go further down, we might be able to go down one area. Let's try it. I don't think I've ever gone down this way, but we can try. It's down this way. Let's go here. Now, if I'm lucky, I'm gonna try to release this video on Tuesday, which would be the next day. Now, typically Tuesdays are our knee replacement video days, but since it's fresh, I may just go ahead and stick the knee replacement video on Friday instead. We'll see. Depends on how fast I can get this thing finished, edited. I don't do a whole lot of editing, as you know. I usually just let it run, and that's why these bike videos are so long. And the way I looked at it is, if you guys got bored of it, you just, you know, turn it off. It's no big deal. And if you wanted to see the entire ride, well, you can, because I leave it going. All right, where is the entrance to that thing? It's probably further up. I'm riding on a sidewalk here, as you can see. Sidewalk riding is really not encouraged. It should be on the street, but at this point, this is what we're doing. Okay, here's some snow over here. So we do navigate a little bit here. Try to stay away from the snow. We'll see how this path is. Let's see here. Just a little bit of splash here. On your right. That guy's screaming. Well, he was walking on the left-hand side of the thing. And I did give him the warning. Going up on the grass here. I couldn't navigate that turn well. And this is why you want to have some knobby tires. When the times you have to do that, go up. Yeah, he wasn't too thrilled, but you know what? I hit him with the bell. He didn't move. All right, so this area you can see has got snow. So as you think that you're clear, you're really not. Some areas you just don't. So let's see how well we do with this in the snow. Not thrilled with this. I'm going slow because it's kind of like slushy. I would hate to fall on this. And I think the reason this is so bad is because it's shaded, so it's not melting off. So obviously they do not shovel this stuff. They don't plow it. Well, I could say I actually went through some snow. Now, typically, you want to pass people on the left, but if he doesn't move, I've got no choice but to go to the right. And I did say I was on his right, but he was starting to walk towards the right after that, which is not smart. All right, this is really bad. Yeah, these are not the greatest. I know my shoes are splashed up a little bit. The bike is a little splashed up too. This is the problem with Chicago area. Snow. try it or should we not? No, I don't think so. I think the other area, I would typically have gone right. But yeah, that's going to be snowy. I'm not going to do that. All right, we're going to go back to where we came from, and then we'll head out of here. Anyways, I appreciate you guys following along today. Just wanted to head out once more, at least before the main ride season happens. Didn't think I'd be actually going out on February, but it is the last day of February, the 28th, that I'm riding. You guys will see this on March 1st. And yeah, we only have like maybe, what, 20 days or so left. How you doing? We have about 20 days or so left before we hit spring. So yeah, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. We're going to be doing more bike videos soon. I'm just playing it by ear, you know, just seeing what the weather is. If the weather is decent, I'll head out. If the weather's not so good, I won't. But yeah, I think I need to have at least 50 degrees. I think the key thing was if I have the thin knit cap on underneath my bike helmet, I could head out at 50 degrees. You know, but as long as I bundle up as best I can. Go up this hill here, and then I could do it. As long, you know, as long as it's not real windy. Today's not real bad, but it does have some bursts of wind here and there. All right, we'll head out the opposite direction here. And as long as you got gloves on, got a sweatshirt underneath, you got a jacket on top of that, and safety vest, it's not that bad. So yeah, 50 degrees. That is my bare minimum at this point. Yeah, I mean, I prefer 60, but you know, if I wait till 60, we'll be into the mid to late Aprils probably. All right, anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, share, like, all that stuff. I'll talk to you guys next time.